Okay, well, welcome back. Again, we're solving one-step equations. So in the last video, we're doing adding and subtracting. Today, what we're going to talk about, or this video, we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing. Okay, so multiplying property of equality says that we multiplying each side of the equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. Okay, it's important that we're not multiplying both sides by zero. Okay, if we do that, we're going to get 0 equals 0, which is always going to be true. So we want to make sure we don't do that. The division property of equality says dividing each side of the equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. Again, if we divide by 0, now what we're getting is undefined because you cannot divide by 0. Okay, so again, the rule, what we do the one side, we have to do the other. So we look at these properties. Multiplication property says we have some A, B, and C just like before. If A equals B, then we can take A times C equals B times C. Okay, so that's the idea. In this example we have x over 3, which really is 1/3 x if we were to think about it in that way. 1/3 x. What we can do is multiply 3 to both sides to cancel out that fraction. Okay, so those fractions will cancel here with the 3's. Okay, and then we get 2 times 3 on the other side. The division property says that same thing, A, B, C are all reals. If A equals B, then we can take A divided by B. Mark this in there. We're going to have A divided by, C is equivalent to B over C. So we have the division there. Okay, and again, it's 5x equals 20. We can take 5x divided by 5. That's equivalent to now 20 divided by 5. Again, it's kind of like a teeter-totter effect. What we do the one side affects what we do the other side. So if we keep them the same, the teeter-totter will always be balanced. Okay, that balance scale will always be balanced, whatever you want to think about. Okay, so let's look at an example here. We have 4x equals 6.4. Again, we're going to draw up this little line just to help you out, keeping things understood of what's one side to the other. We have 4x, and again, we want to get x by itself, isolate that variable. So we're going to take this by dividing by 4. Okay, and 4 over 4 produces 1. We still have our equal sign. 6.4 divided by 4. Okay, we're going to go to the calculator, type that in, or do long division, and what we should get is 1.6. And again, we should check our work. 4 times 1.6, that was a bad 6, but here we go. We get 6.4. You should get 6.4 equals 6.4, and that is correct. Okay, so check your work. Okay, let's go back over here. We're going to look at another example. X divided by 4. So again, what's happening here? That's one of the crucial things. As we look at the previous example to this problem, you have x divided by 4. Okay, I said divided by. So therefore we want to use the multiplication rule, which says we're going to multiply both sides by 4. Okay, so that needs to be the question you're asking. And note this off to the side. What operation? Okay, what operation am I, let's say, looking at? Okay, in this case we are looking at division, so we want to use division, or multiplication to counteract that, because we're using the inverse. Okay, when we do that, the 4's cross out, leaving us with x equals, and when 9 times 4 is 36, or negative in the positive, makes a negative, so our answer is negative 36. Okay, and you can go over here and say negative 36 divided by 4. Okay, we're going to put this in parentheses because that's what we plugged in, should equal negative 9. And we check our work. I forgot to put that in green. But if we check that, it does come out to be negative 9 equals negative 9. And that checks out. Okay, so just quick check, get it done. And problem number 5 now, we deal with fractions. We have 4/5 m equals 28. So as we look at it again, what is that question? And I put that earlier. I'll just shorthand it here. What operation? So go ahead and write this. What operation? Well, in this case, we have 4 times m, but we also have divided by 5. So we're actually going to be doing 2 operations here. To counteract the 4, we're going to divide by 4. To counteract the division of 5, we're going to multiply by 5. So what we're actually going to do is multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, what we're going to do is really take out 2 steps in one. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, and again, the 5's cancel, the 4's cancel. That gives us m, and then we just have to do 28 times 5 divided by 4. Crank that out real quick. You should get 35. Okay, and again, we would check our work. So go ahead and check that, and I'll check to see if you checked it and got it going. Okay. There's one last problem, problem number 6. As you look at that, I want you to go ahead and give that a shot of trying that on your own. Okay, see if you can piece together a story problem, and then we'll talk about that when we get in the class tomorrow. Okay, have a good night.